Good evening, Tom. How are you?
I'm good, Mike. It's we're back with another '80s horror movie.
We are. Hey, I'm sorry if I'm glistening. I'm so sorry. I had to run. Elevator was out, so I decided to take the
Take
stairs.
stairs. You gotta take the stairs. Take the stairs. For God's sakes, take the stairs.
Yeah, let me give a let me pull up the little video loop thingy that we do, and then you can give a little teaser, and then we'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll do some plugin, and then we can jump into the main event. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right. So this guy that we're putting up here, and we're gonna put on loop here, is our beautiful thumbnail that Tom made. And this kind of gives you a little bit of what's in store. Very vindictive a thing here. If I can get us to, there we go. No, hey, now it actually worked. There we go. Yeah. So what? You have a little bit of history and nostalgia with this one. What is this guy?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, this is the first time I've watched it a couple of days
Right.
ago. But yeah, I do have a history with it, and to let you know, back I guess in the late '80s, maybe early '90s, we my sister and some friends I think it was on a trip to Memphis. I think we're all in college, and we went to a trip to Memphis, and late '80s, early '90s. You go to the so one of our
Yep.
stops is
Yes, you
going to
did.
the mall because we didn't have the internet. We didn't find all the cool stuff online. One of the cool things was going to another place and actually going to the mall or going
Mhm.
to little shops and stuff and see what they had. And you in the mall you had places like Camelot and Sam Goody or whatever that had like music and
Right.
movies and different things you could look through. And back in the 80s and 90s, you had Laserdisc. Today we have Blu-rays and yeah, uh, DVDs, but back then you had video cassettes, which was huge, and then there was a niche market for Laserdisc, which was
Yes, there
the
was. Yep.
best way to view movies. And I didn't have a Laserdisc player, but I liked kind of going through those. And I was flipping through the Laserdisc at one of those stores, and I saw this this movie, and it was similar to the AI thumbnail I created. I was trying to create it exactly, but it didn't work out. But it's this guy. His head stuck in the elevator, and he's trying to pull it apart, and it says the lift. Take the stairs, for God's sakes, take the stairs. And I thought that was the craziest thing I'd seen, the funny catch line. And I'd never heard of that movie before. And I was like, why in the world is there a laser disc for this? Because Laserdisc was, they barely made them, and they kind of reserved them for the best movies, or so I thought. But here's
Right.
this laser disc of the lift, and so that always kind of stuck in my mind. I was like, "What in the world is that movie?" And back then, it's hard to track down rare movies like
Of
that.
course.
Yeah,
Right.
so it was every once in a while I would think back on that cover, and then about a decade ago, I guess I looked it up and I posted on it on Facebook,
Right.
and and it popped up like last week. Last week, 9 years ago, I had re found the movie
That's
online,
funny. Right.
and it was weird because last week I thought of before I saw that I wanted to do this movie. It come back in my mind. Now I know they did a few years ago a Blu-ray of it, and that's sort of like what put it back on my radar. But yeah, I was like, I kind of really wanted to see it because it's been in my head for so long, but I didn't know if I wanted to throw down $30 for a special Blu-ray for it. So I found out it was on Tubi. So I was like, "Hey, Mike, let's watch it."
Yes. Yeah. I actually ended up seeing it because I'm right now I'm subscribing to the AMC Plus or whatever,
Hmm.
mainly like to revisit Mad Men and some other favorites and whatnot. But I
Hmm.
actually was actually playing on that, which we'll
Oh,
get
okay.
into here.
Yep.
But anyway, so that sets up our main event, and I wanted to go in and just do a little bit of plug in here. for what we got going on, who we are, and what
Mm-hmm.
we're doing here. We are the Tom. We did at the top of the show there. Tom and I are the main hosts here for our little thing that we do. This is our weekly main event. And basically, we like to catch nerd things, cult classics, or obscure ones that are kind of fun to watch that tickle the nostalgia toes a little bit, maybe, or outright screamed if you're a nerd. But with that being said, I wanted to call attention to our last week's, where Old Boy. We actually went pretty long. I think that's probably one of our longer episodes that we just had a lot to say on it, but it was a very fun ride. Highly encourage folks out there to pick up that movie and go check it out. Tell us what you think. That was our last week's tour de force. And I think we went for an hour and 45, yeah, something like that. It was a longer.
Yeah.
I think we had that because we had a break of about 2 weeks before that. But in any case, we're also on Reddit that Tom manages. He is our social media CEO of our social media, SEO, or whatever. All the things. But catch us there if you want to engage Tom on Reddit. We'll see it. We encourage that. We're also on YouTube as well. For some reason, there's a warning there. And that's he is again head on our Twitter. It kind of puts out anytime we have something big to say, big to put out. We most often, obviously, we publish to YouTube all the time, but we'll talk about it in long form on Reddit, or if you want to, long form on Twitter, as X or Twitter does. And I'm over on ApeIt.Ink, kind of running dry there for stories I need to get caught up. And then, of course, my Yat didn't work. And I need to put our Reddit thing on here. But this is my Yat. It's like a link tree. Links. There we go. There's all of us, all of our presence. My channel, your channel, or our channel. I guess I could put yours if you wanted to. But anyway, it kind of fills us out, like where you can find us and talk to us. We're always available, but of course, we're always first place on YouTube, as it were. So we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe. Check out the new logo that Tom made. Actually, I guess I can bring that up. I can show that. Can I on the video? Yeah. So if I'll pull that guy up, and then there we go, right there on the top there. Tom did a good job. I just want to call that out on our thing. Yeah, I think our internet is kind of hiccupy here, but that's okay. Or let's take that away, and then I'll turn back on the main thing here. So I had never heard. Yeah, so just so there is no confusion here, I had never heard of this before. Before you proposed it, and I also watched it the last couple days. I didn't watch this one twice quite yet, but interesting. This is the interesting. It feels like it feels like I got the vibe that this is exactly what I probably would have saw if like watching Up All Night. That old. I think we kind of share that history. It's kind of corny, old, kind of horror, kind of little bit of TNA kind of things. Although I don't think that movie's quite this. It's not quite that for that sake. I think you got that because it's a European, more European centric, and they're not as uptight as us Puritans over on this side of the Atlantic, as it were, especially back then with the 70s and 80s. But you just
with the horror movie in the 80s, you had to have a little bit of TNA that was sort of baked into it.
and it's not distasteful. It's just kind of part of like what you're seeing. I mean, this thing isn't an Oscar winner. Let's just put it that way. But it was very, very interesting. So this one, so you wanted to see this one. You had you saw this on Tubi. Did you watch it with the captions on, or did you just kind of go with the dubbing or whatever?
They had the dubbed
English
version. So basically the movies, if you haven't figured it out, it's about a killer elevator. In Europe they call them lifts. So here lifts are something you put in your shoe or you call for a ride. But yeah, so the lift, and I think that's another thing that kind of caught me when I first saw it as a laser disc. Is I was always kind of I was an Anglophile. I always loved British stuff, so the fact that it was called The Lift was another thing that kind of caught my eye,
I
because I
catch
knew
you. Yeah.
that was it was British. But yeah, about a killer elevator, and I was always kind of curious as how you would make a killer elevator movie, so to speak. Yeah, because much like Red Letter Media, they talked about a killer swimming pool, or a haunted swimming pool movie, where Mike on that said, well, you just have to not get into the pool, you're done.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, you're like, well, just don't get in the elevator. But I think they did a pretty decent job. 70s and 80s movies tend to be kind of long. Their scenes are kind of long, and they just seem long, like long movies. They don't have a good pacing. Whereas this movie, I found that the pacing was pretty decent. It
It,
wasn't until the end of the movie where it kind of lost its a pull for me, but I was engaged through most of the movie.
yeah, no. As far as like cuts go, for this one, probably a little bit better than others. It's not fantastic. I'll say that, but kind of put a wet blanket a little bit on the thing. But no, I was actually I wasn't 100% engaged every scene. I'll put it that way. But there was enough there to kind of like keep it going, and it's kind of like, all right, so we got we got an elevator, and there's some kind of evil goo microprocessor thing going on, a little sci-fi. So that kind of checks that box. Like, it was
Yeah,
kind of just funny.
it was a sci-fi horror movie.
Right, right. You got you got the people trapped in the elevator. These two couples that don't make any sense together whatsoever. Like,
Yeah,
unless I'm not saying that the guys weren't married, but those were not their wives. I'll just
there
put
was
that way.
a lot of hinted or overt adultery in this movie. There's a
Yes.
lot of it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like there's no way that those two are organically like, and they're obviously in a fancy pants place, so you kind of fill in the rest, I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah, and there's it opens with a obnoxious couple of couples that get trapped in the elevator. But yeah, one of the ladies that was with the guys was super tall. Did you see her? She
I
was
did.
like,
That's
she
exactly
was
what I was.
gigantic.
That's why that I was calling that out, because I was like, hey, wait a second, like that guy's really short. Like, and it's like, no, she's in heels, and it's like, okay, it's like, all right, what's going on? And then you're like paying attention, and the more kind of if I was a kid watching this, I would have never seen any of this, but it kind of made it fun to kind of watch this and kind of pick it apart a little bit. But anyway, gorgeous women, gorgeous dates for sure.
Yeah.
The men are two kind of, I guess, high level, businessmen, whatever, but anyway, so yeah, they get in the elevator, and then some spooky, weird things kind of start. We start. You don't have to wait long for the movie to kick off, but I don't
Right.
think, and this isn't really a spoiler at this point, this small corner, but it'll be quite Daze yet, but it's very ominous to like the thing, and you kind of get fed this thing that you see as you get drawn into it more. I
Yeah.
don't know, what were your thoughts after the couple? Like, would you stop doing that, you piece of shit camera? Sorry, excuse me.
No, there's actually some creative film design in it. There's there's the scene where the couple of pairs, they don't die, but yeah, the something they start suffocating in there, and there's a tense situation where the people outside the elevators trying to get to them. But after that scene, it cuts to what you almost think is a real ambulance, and it goes across the screen, and you realize, because it's a close up shot of it, and then you realize no, it's a toy. And I think that was kind of creative. It looked like it's kind of a nice transition
Right.
where you think, okay, yeah. So, but it cuts to the family, and the lead of the film, I think his name's Felix. He's a elevator repairman. Yeah, how many movies? Oh, is the lead a elevator repairman? Yeah, you would assume in a
Well,
evil elevator movie it would be a police detective or something, but no, it's the repairman.
right. Yeah, well, no, that's very true. Yeah, well, and that kind of like and then you kind of get a little bit of a slice of life, I guess, for this particular
Hmm.
gentleman, and so you what in the world is uh-oh, I think I've got something. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure I don't have uh-oh, crap. It's playing in the background and like I don't want to see it.
Yeah, so, yeah. I think maybe the evil demons from the elevator have infested Mike's computer, so so it's yeah. So yeah, it's a nice slice of life for that you get to see but yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry about that. I think I just muted
Hmm.
both of us when I hit the master mute, but I didn't it was
Hmm.
it was sorry. It
Uh-huh.
was kind of a curse. I watched it on the app on the computer
Uh-huh.
anyway, and it was playing the it was trying to be cool and slick and play the background theme song to it, like as you like browse the page or whatever. Sorry,
Oh yeah.
I was browsing I was trying to grab something, but anyway, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, yeah, a little cursed. Anyway, you were saying about we were talking about the slice of life of the
Hmm.
mechanic dude, and then it gets
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Especially with these movies, is that it kind of gives you the nostalgia, or at least kind of a glimpse back if you weren't there at the time of the '80s. It's sort
it
of
felt
yeah.
That's what I felt like. What I like about these horror movies are like with the cinematography they use. It kind of like not a period piece per se, but like well, I mean, this is probably more because I grew up in the '80s and you did too. You kind of
Hmm.
it kind of things kind of had a certain kind of feel. And even over there, over in Europe, it wasn't too different from what. So like,
Hmm.
you kind of get that natural kind of glaze over things, I suppose.
Hmm.
But all very cool. Cute family, like they have a cutish kind of family talk, at the breakfast table or whatever. Like, mommy, what are blah blah blah. And then it's like anyway, it didn't matter. But anyway, it
Yeah.
was unique, and it felt. I agree with you in the tension building. The pacing was pretty good. The ending kind of just happened, I guess. I don't know. Like I'm not really speeding through things, but it's just kind of like okay, that's about what I would expect for for a supernatural goo or some kind of
Yeah.
who know. I don't know what the mechanism here is that you
Yeah.
dig in
Yeah.
on or whatever, but
Yeah, they did a nice little job of the showing, at least at the beginning, that the elevator repairman's family was somewhat cohesive, and a nice little family. And yeah, the son and the daughter had some interesting interactions. And the son was at one point thinking his dad was distracted by the newspaper, or he was kind of dumping sugar into his cup. And then the
I don't
dad, when the
know.
phone rang, he switched him back when the kid wasn't looking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of fun little. There's sort of a attention to detail, and finding the funny moments.
Oh, there we go. There's a
There's
good one.
mhm.
Right off the bat.
there's some dark. Yeah, this movie didn't take itself too seriously, so there's a lot of dark humor to the movie, and
Yeah, that is true. There is a little bit. There's a little bit of whimsical kind of silliness, a little bit,
mhm. Yeah.
or maybe tension popping, maybe popping that a little bit,
Yeah,
so it can
that's
build
the
again.
that was the image that was on the laser disc that I originally saw with the tagline. But yeah, it's yeah, it's sort of a, you know, kind of catches your eye. But yeah, so there's something that's going on, and you know, it starts with the the even the elevator repairman, he's got the black eye because he looked at someone else's wife a little bit too much, and the
Right.
husband decked him. And later on, his wife suspects him of adultery as well. But yeah, and then his coworker, he talks to him about another coworker, and that coworker's like talking about how he's finagled a date with one of the, I guess, one of the secretaries in the in the company, and he's going through his lunch and he's going, beef again, or beef sausage again, which leads you to believe his wife or girlfriend had packed that lunch for him. So he's potentially going on an adulterous date as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They don't hold anything back. You're kind of putting this kind of thing like where everybody's the center,
Uh-huh.
and presumably guilty or capable guilty of having the punishment, karma, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
rendered upon them or
Mhm.
something like that. Maybe, I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah, and
Uh,
the main character, he's always rolling his cigarettes and
oh yeah,
smoking.
he is. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, which is
Oh,
kind of
unique.
interesting, and also the security attendants in the lobby of the of the hotel, that, or not the hotel, but the building. They're always like they have their booze kind of off to the side.
Yeah, oh yeah,
That
yeah,
they
like a little mini bar or something like that. Yeah, it kind of was very interesting. Kind of like post 60s, post 70s kind of,
hmm
kind of vibe, like where it
Yeah.
was kind of like a reheated thing in the 80s and it kind of died off. I think.
Yeah. It was. I guess it said as it came out in 1983, so probably shot in '82. So
Right.
it's got it's got that tail end of the '70s kind of stank still on it.
Yeah, and echoes of the 60s as well, because that was
Mhm.
a, kind of like from the whole postmodern thing, and it kind of died out. And then you had like wood paneling dens that just so dark. I remember that being growing up as a kid. I always remember whenever somebody had a den, it was always very dark for some reason, and wood
Yeah.
everywhere like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's a mom,
Mhm.
family, whatever. Yeah, so they do build some rapport with some of these people, but I think I'm trying to find that's the reporter,
Right. Yeah.
isn't it?
She's
Yeah, yeah. She
the
that's what
nosy reporter that.
right. That
Yeah.
kind of sort of that didn't really team up with the mechanic, but they have some. It's like, okay, I guess you're gonna follow along, whatever, or whatever. Like, or at least there's scenes with them like where it leads you to believe that she is, not not afraid to kind of ask questions and stick around
Yeah.
to know
The
the answer for the
the
story she's chasing.
sure the sassy independent woman the kind of
I
trope.
guess so. Yeah, but they don't wait too long to kick off the thing. Yeah, you kind of have like this. I didn't know how to take the movie. Like, aside from these people are all like they're very adult, like, that with the. I think that's kind of they're all grown ups, I guess. I don't know. Aside from that, and then you just have these like the neon in the elevator, like the lighting
Mhm.
is cool. Like it just kind of is obviously there for. It's not quite menacing because that pink, that fuchsia, kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
yours,
yeah.
like to
That's why
draw you in.
I chose the pink. Yeah, the
Yep, yep.
get stay with the theme. Yeah, you have the pink, and then you have the writer director. He also did the
Oh, you hold up. You broke up there a little bit.
yeah.
Oh, but anyway, you were saying now. You were saying the writer director was doing what now? Uh-oh. I think we might be cursed from the. I think the lift might be cursing the first to last nerdom. Are you back?
I think so. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
am I?
Good. Yeah. 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 For now. Yeah. It's a little. little sideshowy, but I can hear you and see you
All
again,
right.
so that's good. So anyway, you were saying you were calling out the writer director
Yeah, he
gentleman.
did. Yeah, he also did the soundtrack as well. Very synth heavy, a la maybe a low
Very,
rent John Carpenter. It was
oh
serviceable. It was
yeah,
serviceable. The
serviceable for
soundtrack,
sure.
and there wasn't a whole lot of back history that you could read about this movie, but evidently, I guess him and the producer had an argument over whether or not he could do the soundtrack, and he
Hmm.
ended up being fired or he quit or something for the day, and then the producer realized he couldn't do it without him, so he hired him back the next
Yep,
day.
that's what I read. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
That's what I
So,
had read about.
but
Interesting drama.
yeah, and the director, he's actually slated to direct a new movie. He's still very active, and I was reading over. He also directed a lot of Golden Earrings, their music videos, which the band.
Did not know that.
I don't know too much about them, but they did the big hit song "Radar Love." So.
Hmm.
That some of you might know out there, and on one of his videos, I read that
He did. He did
for
pray. I did not know that. Huh. Or a pray,
yeah,
not the pray that we know.
yeah, that we know.
Different pray.
Uh,
Anyway, go on. Sorry,
yeah,
squirrel. Yeah, go on.
yeah. That one of the music videos he did for Golden Earring, he has a woman walking into an elevator, and the guy the elevator repairman from our movie is walking out of the elevator. So that's sort
Really?
of kind of a nod to that. I probably should track that down to take a
That
look
is
at it.
cool. That is very
Um,
cool. Well,
but
if we find that, we'll put that in the show notes down below too.
mhm. The other horror movie that he did that I'm kind of tempted to see is it's cleverly titled Amsterdamned, and
Okay,
it's about a serial killer. And I noticed his movie that's in production right now is a sequel to it,
I saw
Amsterdamned
that.
2. So
Yeah.
that could be interesting. But yeah, it's also on Tubi as well and AMC Plus. So if you got the bug of his type of movie with the lift, there's other ones out there. And also, he came over to America and did in the 2000s and did a remake of this movie called Down or The Shaft, and it stars Naomi Watts, a young Naomi Watts.
Interesting. Yeah.
so so yeah, if but I hear it's not very good. The Dutch, evidently there's probably not a whole lot of movies that come out of that come out of that the area. So the Lift's like one of their biggest horror movies, a Dutch horror movie. So yeah, they kind of say this one's sort of kind of denigrates the Lift. So
Probably would agree with them on that front.
yeah.
I also probably would not watch the Naomi. If I was a big Naomi Watts fan, I probably would suffer through it. But
Yeah.
no, but this, yeah, I don't think there's anything like technically wrong with this. Like, I mean, it was a movie. It was kind of like was made to kind of narrow you in a little bit closer and closer as the time ran out or the clock went on. That kind of add to that sense of that claustrophobia that it was trying to invoke. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
there is
and helplessness
yeah.
too. There's a lot of that, like where panic, anxiety. You're stuck in a small spot and you're not
Mhm.
going anywhere, and also you start to freak out even more, like when it starts to do things
Mhm.
that nobody pushed a button. Like, don't touch anything.
Yeah, and anyone that's worked or lived in a high-rise building that you had to take the elevator every day. There is always that one elevator among the three or four of them. That's always the worst one to get on,
The problem child.
and yeah, the problem child. That
That's the truth.
yeah, I lived in a high rise, and there was always something going on with the elevators. And at one point, I did get stuck in it with this older lady, and we had to get out. I had to get out first. The guy that came to rescue us opened it up and had me come out first so that he and I could help the elderly lady out of the elevator. But our mutual friend that we used to work with, he used to make fun of me, saying I got out of there like much like George from Seinfeld when there was a fire at a party and he was knocking kids and and women out of the way to get out of out of it. That I was much like that in the
That's
elevator
funny.
sequence, but I was like, no, no, no. But yeah, I still have some nightmares every once in a while about elevators. So I guess maybe I have a slight phobia about elevators. I don't know. So that maybe this was sort of always that movie that kind of haunted me.
Gotcha. That gotcha there.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I never really had. For me, it's not really elevators. If we're talking about things that kind of like maybe unease us just for a microsecond or whatnot.
Hmm.
Like kind of like I can understand it. Like if there are some people just do not like airplanes. I don't really have that thing
Hmm.
at all, but I can understand it for sure. Like
Hmm.
for me, it's escalators.
Hmm.
Wearing flip flops or being barefoot on an escalator always like it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard for like just momentarily, and
Yeah.
it's just like one of the things that like
Yep.
I carry like anybody else. But
Hmm.
the elevator never had. I've never been stuck in one. Have you ever been like really truly stuck like that? Aside from that one time that you get out of my way.
No, no, it wasn't for very long that
That's
we
good.
got stuck. But it was like in between floors so that they had to get us out. So yeah, it wasn't. That always kind of makes you a little uneasy. It's like
Oh
okay,
yeah.
the floor is not the floor anymore. But but yeah, but
No.
yeah, no, no, no. I guess the worst one was uh, which didn't quite involve the elevators. The elevators, all of them were broken, and I lived on the 16th floor, and it was 4th of July, and we had some stuff going on, so we had to take the stairs, and
Yeah.
that was a bit rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, but getting back to the movie, the yeah, it's kind of hard to make an elevator sinister. There's a scene where there's this kid that she's playing with the elevator and it's opening up
Uh-oh.
its various things like peekaboo with her and she's kind of like jumping and
Oh
you're
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah.
and you're
I
actually
remember that thing.
kind of scared for her at that moment. That was a very interesting scene and it played off very well. Like I said, it's not your typical B movie in that it was kind of a throwaway and didn't have a story to it. It actually had a somewhat engaging story and a bit of a mystery. The repairman's trying to figure out what's going on, and
Right.
there's this rumor of the previous repairman that dealt with this building who had went crazy. So there's sort of a mystery there that's quite engaging to start with. But once things start getting starts being revealed and stuff, the focus take goes back away from the mystery to back to the elevator. And like I said, the elevator is not that much of an engaging villain.
Mm-mm.
Freddy Krueger has a personality. Elevator does not really have a personality. And when you have a final battle between the repairman and the elevator, it's not, it is what it is at that point.
It's something. It's something.
Yeah.
That is it kind of just I just kind of just wraps up and you're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, a lot of times in these movies, the characters aren't very engaging. They're just there to further the plot or the story. But this
Check a
movie,
box,
yeah,
right?
that this movie has very engaging, interesting characters like the police detective that's more interested in going over little known facts about elevators as opposed to actually solving what's going on. He doesn't really think anything's really going on.
Yeah,
He's very ready. He's very much he has a vacation planned and he's very much engaged with getting to his vacation as opposed to solving what's going on here.
right, right. Yeah, the macabre here. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's not really. I mean, it has a little bit of absolute grossness to it, but it doesn't have like not like not like other films and from this genre where they would come out, or other 80 famous horror 83 flicks that were from that year or a year later.
Yeah.
But definitely unsettling. It didn't quite hit the spook factor that The Shining did with its
Right.
elevator.
Yeah.
But I think it does pay its own kind of it's not afraid. It
Hmm.
boldly makes its own choices, and you're right. There's more of a solid movie there than you would think that there would be. I'll put that way.
Hmm.
It's not quite a train wreck. There's not like really horrible mistakes that are made. That are kind of take you out of the movie. It kind of it kept me engaged for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Definitely. Yeah. It's has a story. I don't know if I would go back and buy this on on Blu-ray. I think I've got my fill of the movie, but yeah, it was I I don't know what I expected of the movie, I was kind of pleasantly surprised, and it didn't disappoint me. It didn't overwhelm me. It's not like my favorite B movie of all
no.
time,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, it's a fun one. Definitely a fun little ride to watch and enjoy, and especially since it's on Tubi and you can flip it on and it's there for free.
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid, weekend afternoon doing laundry kind of thing to put on and get
Yeah,
lost
yeah, it's
in.
only an hour and a half, so it's
Quick jaunt.
yeah, you're there and gone, and before it's even and like I said, a lot of those old '70s and '80s movies, especially B movies, the pacing's so bad that if it's hour and a half, it feels like a 3 hour movie just because the scenes aren't quite engaging and they're slow paced, but this movie like I said, it kept me engaged. It was the characters were always kind of interesting. The repairman, he's got an interesting look to his face. I was always and yeah, so I was kind of engaged with his character. He's somewhat of an interesting looking guy, and just his mannerisms and how he went about things was kind of interesting. And then the people that were surrounding him were all kind of characters, like the goofy doctor that worked in the building that had
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
needed to get to his floor,
Right.
where the blood splattered on his outfit, and the dead body comes flying down. He's like, ah! He goes crawling out of the elevator, and then and the guy that owns the building that is having an adulterous affair with some woman.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all yeah. It's that he adds a little bit of extra spice to each of the scenes to make them a little bit more engaging.
Yeah. He kind of. I was gonna say he not that one, but the main. Yeah, him.
Mhm.
He kind of reminds me of like the kind of you would have seen like somebody in another 80s film or two,
Mhm.
kind of like that kind of face. I know you're talking
Mhm.
about, like, and same, but of course not unless are Dutch.
Yeah.
You're not see. But I liked the definitely felt like the 80s, but not quite the 80s. It felt like the Europe's 80s. Like you felt like what, and it wasn't too dissimilar from like when I grew up or when you grew up, that sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's not quite a terrible film. But it's kind of like a good guilty thing to throw on, I think.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say the IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10, which is probably I'd say 6.5
That
probably is where I would land. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not too bad.
Well, the other one that we saw, I didn't pay attention too much, but the other lift, the remake of it was like four something. So like
Yeah, yeah.
you're talking like a whole world of difference from like a four to a six, and I'd probably be
Mhm,
somewhere around there. I might
mhm.
go a little bit under, a little bit, maybe a 5.8 or 5.9 if I'm like pinching pennies, but it's still unique. Like
Yeah.
it does well, and it's the suspenseful tension building, and then kind of cracking the whip, and like you see like where you land, and murder of the minute, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not quite
Yeah.
a huge body stack, a stack of bodies, but
No,
it's not it's not a saint either.
right. And it's got the, I kind of at points, especially towards the end, it goes a little crazy at the end. But I wished it would go a little bit more crazy. There's the whole thing about the microprocessors and the processor for
Yeah, fucking left
the old scary thing about computers, especially in the early '80s. Computers, that was a whole big mystery. I did love. There's
they're immune to bullets, or they're not they're not immune to bullets apparently.
yeah, the computer chips, the evil computer chip. I love the scene with the professor talking about computer chips and the bio chips and stuff.
Right. Oh yeah. The whole organic computer kind of thing.
Yeah,
right.
computer chip processors and
right.
sort of
Fucking
hinting
dude.
at what will be found out, and then the evil company, a rising sun, which is wink wink nudge nudge Japanese maybe, and with the rising sun, and then so they went to the place where they're manufacturing the computer chips and whatnot. I love the whole little laboratory they had with the red dark light and the weird sounds, and kind of making it so creepy and
mood setting.
ooh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, of computers of that people. It's like that. Yeah, it's like sure. That's
right. Yeah,
that's exactly what where they would be making a computer chip. That's how it would look. Yeah.
Well, mad scientist, mad scientist kind of thing. Yeah.
And there's a scene where the repairman goes to the mental institute and or the mental asylum to visit the guy that went crazy working on the elevator. Previous to him, I love the people around him that are also in the asylum, and one of them weirdly has a saxophone.
Oh yeah,
and then they all go kind of nuts and starts playing it with that chaotic saxophone music, which is perfect for crazy sound. But
right.
the pudding gets thrown on the wall, and the guy's looking at it like
Right. That's funny. Yeah, the I was gonna say too, like, so this one, the claim to fame, was like one of the first serious Dutch horror films to get international attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it had a budget of like 350,000, not much. I have no idea how much it made on. I couldn't find how much it made at the box office.
Right.
I don't know if you did or not, but
no, I didn't. I'm not too much on box office receipts.
Well,
and
right.
Whatnot. Yeah.
Hardly a minor note, and some movies aren't about that, and that's not why why they're famous or they stick with us.
Mm-hmm.
But it did have mixed reviews, but it did get a cult following, which I could easily see. Like, it's a solid enough movie. Has the four squares around for a movie. To foundational. Is
Yeah, be interesting to see how this video of ours do for it. Those really weird, obscure movies that I dig up tends to do well for our channel. So yeah, I won't be surprised if this does well. And then that writer director Dick Maas, I think is how you pronounce his name. Maybe not. He also he formed a good relationship with the main star of this, and they also did Amsterdam together, and then a few other movies as well, I think. So I think he starred in Amsterdamned as well.
Yeah, upcoming. He is. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then, well, if we could see the ones before, 2082, 2018, 2082. Jesus. Maybe 100 years. Like, I wonder what they'll be watching it on like one eye.
Yeah, well, they're doing their
wow. He's very
prolific. Yeah.
Yeah. Very busy guy. Oh, the lift. There it is. Yep. And then he was in the well, whatever. Anyway, we already know that. So, Yeah. So where it's available at, and see, this is a one where you fall down, you're disappointed. We just watch like we called it out. Well, okay, cool. So they do show where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can watch it. Okay, there it is. I don't know why was it on fire. Sorry, guys. Like I was gonna make fun of it, whatever. But no, they tell you where it's at. You on Tubi for free.
Mm-hmm.
AMC Plus.
Shutter,
It's like
Shutter, and
in Shutter is cheapish. I
uh-huh.
think it's only a few bucks. 8, 7, 8 bucks, something like that. Very cheap,
Yeah, yeah,
reasonable.
yeah. And then it looks like Night Flight as well, which Night Flight that was the predecessor, or it came before Up All Night. So that they would show Night Flight would show movies like this. So it very well could have showed the lift on the Night Flight when it was on USA Network. It's cool that there's that Night Flight streaming channel now. I'm always tempted to get a subscription to that because I was
Check it out.
I was big into watching stuff on Night Flight. It was a nice mixed bag of they would show music videos that MTV wouldn't really show. The sort of postmodern videos, and they would show. So it would be a mixed bag of music videos, weird, crazy horror movies, and underground movies, and then they would also show short films. I saw the Robert Rodriguez's short film Bedhead on there, which which was his first short film they did before he did El Mariachi. So
That's cool.
it's
Retro
yeah.
Tenebrae.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
No, they got good. They got some good chops here for sure. Return of the Swamp Thing, creature features. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. That's something weird. Original. I agree with you. We might have to coordinate on making sure we get a subscription to that. That is interesting. Night Flight. All right, cool. Yeah. So the lift available near you, just about anywhere you want. It's
Yep.
probably find it on YouTube too. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Search hard enough.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
the
Yep.
lift.
They lift. Yeah, yeah, and I guess the being badly dubbed also kind of gives it its charm as well. There's some interesting lines in it. I don't know if they were uh, uh, directly translated or if there was something maybe lost in translation that made it a little bit more funny. But but yeah, that's and then the guy the cleaner guy that's on the screen, young Joe Flaherty, which is an SCTV comedian that
I could
yeah, kind of
I
sees
could kind of see that. Yeah, yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
expression, the loose.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, we lost Joe Flaherty a few weeks back, which kind of hit me pretty hard. But yeah, yeah. So it was kind of nice seeing this guy. Kind of, he's sort of being, he had like what was it, kind of green glittery shoes, and he was kind of dancing around
I
when he was cleaning, sort of giving a
he had
little bit of
flair. He
yeah.
had flair for sure.
Yeah, and the guy that was in charge of the cleaning crew, he kind of had that Guido kind of look to him, got onto him. But yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of little interesting comedic scenes throughout it that, like I said, kind of distracted you from the lift because, like I said, the
Oh, my
elevator
big
isn't
belt chair.
yeah, the elevator isn't that menacing, so you kind of have to do things to kind of distract you or from when the elevator's not doing anything creepy. You kind of have to distract, and it's sort of like
Yeah,
a magic act, you know.
yeah.
Look at this other hand.
Right, right. Well, yeah. Well, it also is sentient of some kind of thing, so it can
Hmm.
maneuver its tentacles to kind of get you.
Yeah,
But
there's the last scene. We won't go into too much spoilers, but yeah, there's one of the evil guys, and it kind of gets his own at the end. Which I think the last kill of the movie is very satisfying. I'll say that it kind of lost its plot during the last third, but the ending of the movie kind of capped it off quite well for me. I enjoyed that, and
It
then and then
definitely capped
the
it off. Yeah.
yeah, and then the final credit scene is just them walking down the stairs. They're not taking the elevator because I guess they killed it, and they're kind of walking down the stairs.
Like, we don't trust this thing. Screw
Yeah,
this building. We're never coming back. Goodbye.
we're taking the stairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Unless there was anything else you wanted to add.
No, I just would roll through my notes real quick. I just kind of, fun facts. Central mystery revolves around the processor. The lift. It kind of not much. No, I mean it was solid enough. Like it probably not one of my most favorite ones, but like again, this isn't like the heir apparent to anything aside from like just a cool, solid movie that's old. That can probably, if you grew up in that part of the world, you probably have some kind of nostalgia around it. But for me, it was more that it was like kind of like that Up All Night kind of vibe that reminded me of just the era, just a lot of things. Maybe
Yeah, it's one of those movies that you just grab a bowl of popcorn and sit back and
right.
and enjoy yourself, for an hour and a half.
Absolutely.
As opposed to the movie we watched last week, Oldboy, which we kind of talked over for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And probably didn't touch upon all the stuff that was interesting about that movie. There's not a whole lot to kind of dig in on this movie. Like I said, it's just
What
kind
you see
of
is
a
what you
fun,
get.
yeah. There's sort of like some fun scenes in it, and there's like I said, some playful camera things that he did, like with the like I said, with the ambulance, toy ambulance car, and and the undercutting of the scenes. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a fun movie. Like I said, I'm glad I finally got to see it and finish that decades long journey
Indeed.
to this.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch this in a few years, something like that, and see where we fell on it, to revisit it, something like that. But yeah,
Yep.
go check it out. We showed you where. Also, kind of before coming up to the end here, go check out our Old Boy. Tom mentioned that just a minute ago. Go tell us what you think about that, and of course, all of our ever-growing back catalog. I don't know what we're at now. I don't know, like 195. I don't know. One of these days, it kind of feels like you're at 190 for like 20 videos or something like that. I don't know, but we'll get there soon enough for sure. But tell us, and also go back and go check out our free comic book day takedown. That was really cool, and a really fun one with Pearl. That was fun. But I think we're running up here to the caboose here for us to say goodbye.
Yep.
But I've been Mike.
And I'm Tom.
We'll leave the light on for you. Don't take the stairs.
Yeah. Do take the stairs. Don't take the lift.
Yeah, don't take the lift. Yeah, take the stairs. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next week.
I see you.